And of course, I fucked it up. But, that's to be expected.
Well, of
God
course.
damn it. God damn it. I hate everything. Why is it all so awful?
Play the intro, Johnny. And we broke it.
Yeah. I'm so used to OBS. It's such a pain in the ass to do all
Hey,
of
this was
this.
your
Like,
bright idea.
look, it works for other people. It can work for us. I don't have to be awful.
Do I need to add more shit to the bingo card?
Probably.
Oh, okay. Well, welcome to the Gospel of Comics.
Where if it ain't broke, we try to fix it.
I am your trusty co-host, Ayrton McCartney, and with me today is your host, the Church of Failure. How you doing today, buddy?
What are you doing? Stop that. Stop it right now. It makes me uncomfortable. I'm calling the police. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Gospel of Comics. I'm your host, the Church of Failure, and with me, as always, is my disgusting co-host, Ayrton McCartney. How you doing tonight, you degenerate?
Pretty good. This is off to a lovely start. I love it.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, at least you don't sound like you're running your audio through a blender tonight. Yet.
I mean, I can make it sound like that if you want.
I don't want. I'm gonna need you to not.
I just have to turn one knob.
Please, no. Dear God, no. So, since we are already off to such an amazing start this evening, why don't we take a look at the book for the evening, right? Like,
all right.
You what do you think of the reading material this evening?
Oh, it was a blast. I wanted more of it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like, as soon as I got done with book number 2, I was like, I'm angry that there's not more of this already. Like, I'm glad that I backed and I'm gonna get issue 3, but I mean, I kind of need there to be 12 issues of this so that I know all there is to know.
As soon as I was done with issue 1, I was like, wait, that's it?
Yeah.
Give me more.
Yeah, I get another book. So, do you want to explain the premise? I mean, I guess we're just going to jump right into this. We have Ironverse Comics in the chat. He is graciously our only viewer at the moment. But
what's going on, bud?
My work schedule and our tech issues have put the show on a bit of a topsy turvy environment. Not to mention all the bullshit going on within Comicsgate right now that I just don't even want to talk about.
Ugh.
I mean, that makes sense, right? Like, it has nothing to do with me, and I'm watching it, and I'm just like, this is all bad.
I mean, really, I don't think I've really checked Twitter in like, I don't know, 5 days, just because it's either comics.
Oh, there goes your audio.
Bullshit. Of course.
Yeah, good. Now that your audio has gone to complete and utter trash, as soon as I ask you,
and I literally did nothing. I'm just sitting here.
Yeah. I mean, that's the problem. You exist. Your audio doesn't like it. I understand.
That's fair.
Do you want to take a stab at trying to give a brief overview of who Jack Irons is, or?
No, my audio is just going to cut out as soon as I start.
Oh, okay. Okay, so I guess I'll do that. All right. So, from what I can gather from the first 2 issues, Jack Irons is basically a space cowboy. You might be familiar with the Steve Miller Band song. I'm assuming this is who they were talking about. But he also has a bit of a mutation or genetic difference, or it hasn't really been fleshed out or explained. But somehow he just keeps coming back to life.
I thought it was some sort of like reincarnation sort of thing.
Yeah, I mean that's the way I see it too. But and unlike reincarnation in the traditional sense, he has a full understanding of how this, of how his prior lives went down. Like he seems to remember his past lives and
Yeah,
every experience he's had. So that was
which is
that was interesting
really
to begin with,
interesting premise.
right? Now it is a trope; it's been done before. Uh,
So early in the show.
they were supposed to be in bed 2 hours ago.
Supposed to.
Yeah, well, I mean, they
Hey,
were in bed 2 hours ago.
I can turn my camera on and sarcastically do air quotes.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, you can do that now. Um, but anyway, we have a space cowboy who reincarnates after every time he dies. There's a little bit of, I don't know, Native American magic, kind of like we saw in the splatter western books we've talked about. Um,
Yeah, it seems to be more like how I took it because it starts in ancient Egypt. So to me, it's kind of like an old religion, like old gods sort of thing.
no, 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 no. I'm talking about the character of the Indian chief that you see more of in book two, who talks about getting past a barricade with magic or whatever. Um,
Yeah,
so,
that's fair.
I mean, the first issue basically kind of goes through some of his old lives, gives you a premise of the character, some of his abilities. You get to see him in action near the end of the book where he Lobos a bar to death. Um, this is the best way I can describe it because, when you think trashing a space bar, you think Lobo. Let's be
Yeah,
real
basically.
here. But anyway, that's the first book kind of gives you that premise. The second book goes a little more in depth and shows you, Now, my one critique is the story is a little disjointed. Now, I do know that usually when comic books feel disjointed, a later issue comes back and slaps me in the teeth and ties everything together in a nice bow. But because I haven't had an opportunity to read that later issue and see that actually happen, then I have to worry, is it actually going to? Right?
So
I'm sure it
I kind
will.
of like the disjointedness of it.
But,
It gave it kind of like a fast pace.
yeah,
Even though like
your audio
it's
is killing me.
Jesus.
As soon as you try and make a point, it just starts scrambling up. We did this for almost 30 minutes before the show started. Everything was fine, and now here we are
And
on
I
air.
literally changed nothing.
Oh my god. There's a lot of depth to all the mysticism. Oh, shit, I can do this. I can do this now. There's a lot of depth to all the mysticism. It's supposed to be gleaned in many ways. Hard part will be juggling that with the narrative. I can see that.
Yeah, makes sense.
So, and yes, we'll probably revisit this. It was a pacing decision, but also very disjointed. Yeah, no, I definitely understand. It's just
Yeah.
it's almost like the Joker in certain aspects. Like the story takes place, and then later on, you kind of realize where the timeline picks up. Yeah,
Yeah. And hopefully my audio is good enough that I can make my point. I kind of liked the disjointedness. It kind of picked up the pace versus him just kind of it's basically him sitting in a bar drunk talking to a stranger. And so that disjointedness kind of like made it flow a little faster to me.
yeah, your audio
And
did not
I
hold up.
liked it.
I mean, I got the general
Of course.
principle of it, but no, it did not.
Of course.
I'm wondering, would this be better just through Discord and OBS? Like we can do this tomorrow and do a better job advertising it. That was a framing device to cover that poor decision. um, but no, it wasn't a bad thing, and the pacing is really off to a great start for the simple fact that you get a good chunk of narrative in the first issue. The second issue has a little more action to it, and you still kind of get a sense of moving the story along. And it ends in that cliffhanger of the tracker showing up. And let's just talk about the character design for that guy, right?
Oh yeah.
Like, first off, let's talk about the character design overall. The two main characters that we've seen at this point, that we know of, obviously, are Jack Irons and that tracker. And easy to cover your beginning decision with the drunk narrator. Absolutely. No, I do really
How do you
enjoy
think we
that.
do this show?
Absolutely, yeah, yeah. How? Speaking of which, you were talking about your beer earlier. You said you should have
Oh
read the
yeah, it
bottle
was.
more. Why was that? What are you drinking this evening?
Well, I have two actually. The first one that I started drinking is a farmhouse ale, which
Okay.
it's typically kind of like your basic sort of like low alcohol percentage ale, but I didn't read that it was a sour mix. So
Hmm.
it's a yeah, I was not expecting that when I took the first drink of it.
Yeah, put some gummy worms in it. It'll be fine.
Yeah, yeah, basically.
Uh, anyway, no, I really like the way the story's going so far. I don't want to spoil too terrible much of it, and I am going to leave this travesty of a stream up. We'll probably only go for about a half hour or so, and just promote the book a little bit, and we'll try this again in Discord tomorrow through OBS and see if it's
Yeah.
sure set up or StreamYard's just fucking us. I don't think it's Stream. It might be. It might be StreamYard pulling too many resources, but I don't know. I
I don't know.
mean, it
In
works half the
StreamYards.
time. Yeah, but
Did that do anything or no?
what? I mean, you sound fine now. I mean, I can hear myself mildly in the background,
Okay.
but I'm willing to ignore it.
I can turn you down. I turned off audio processing, so I don't know.
Okay. So, but yeah, I'm really excited to see where issue 3 picks up, and it's interesting to go into this and say that after 2 issues, I want the other 10 in the 2 volume set. So
Right.
that kind of leads me to my first question: is with the wealth of storytelling that you have available with this concept, how far do you take a story like this? Because you can have stories in the present. You can have people come back from the past, which I think is already being alluded to with the whole Four Horsemen gimmick, and you can also like have the stories of all the lives lived and all the all the experiences of death being described in certain scenarios. Like there's an endless well of information
There
in
really
that.
is.
What did you think of our world building in issue 2? Some folks have an issue with how hard I had to lean into it. I actually didn't have a problem with it. I am a big fan of the Four Horsemen narrative,
Oh yeah.
and they kind of piece together really well. And I don't. You kind of lucked up into it, but it's a really interesting allegory. Um, all planned unlimited, but we only create in the moment, so we'll see what's truly feasible. Sure. But the Four Horsemen, and like I said, I think it was kind of fallen into almost that this narrative came out for these stories, and we're in kind of an uncertain, like weird time for our country here in the States right now. And there's just that kind of gloom hanging over the world that's really depicted well visually in the Jack Irons universe. Like the world feels like it looks in Jack Irons. Like we haven't devolved into pure and utter chaos yet, but we could one wrong thing,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
So no, I was very happy with the second book, with the exception that there wasn't more of it, and
Right.
it was a lot of
And
fun. The art style was very Mike Mignola, Hellboy esque in certain
yeah,
areas. Um,
which
it
which I like that for this kind of story. The kind of exaggerated features and stuff like that. It's
right.
a nice
No,
touch.
no, I really enjoy it. And it fits well with the narrative of the story. It wasn't, because sometimes when you like, I don't think a book like this works with like Alex Ross hyper realistic artwork.
No, that would be off-putting.
Um, I I think that the art style blends perfectly with the story that's going on, so that's definitely a point in the good column. And it was just good comics. Like if I had to describe it, I would say you take Jonathan Hickman's East of West and you make it have a baby with Chew, and
I
that's
can see that.
and you mix it in with a heavy helping of just overt westernish, and that's what you get. Like East of West obviously has a western overfeel to it, but it's not as on the nose as this is, and that's kind of how I like my westerns. I like them to be very, very on the nose. Like, yes, he's in full cowboy regalia. What do you want to do about it? Yes, he rides a motorcycle. I've listened to Bon Jovi. I know what the steel horse is.
Well, not just a motorcycle pulled by two mechanical horses.
Oh,
Don't
goddamn
leave that
right.
part out.
No, no, definitely not. Well, that's depicted in the logo here. Let's see.
And just
The
because,
colorist for East of West is doing a variant for #1 because of how much he enjoys our work. Yeah.
nice.
Well, we very much enjoy East of West as well. That's one
Yeah.
of the reasons I was kind of drawn to this kind of story. And I realize I'm getting into those post-apocalyptic, you know, variant westerns a lot more these days. And if you would have asked me 10 years ago if I would have enjoyed westerns, I'd have been like, no, those are boring. And now every other show, it seems like we're covering some kind of western. Good on them. The
Yeah.
resurgence of the genre, people doing new things with it. But
Yeah, and I will say just because I'm kind of a like sword weapons nerd, I like the Kopesh in that beginning bit in the ancient Egypt. A lot of the times they'll show a spear or like a bronze sword or something like that,
mhm.
but that Kopesh was a nice touch.
Oh yeah. So I did want to go through the campaign as well. I've already backed for the complete package, and
Yeah, you did.
shut up. But that's digitals of 1, 2, and 3, physicals for 1, 2, and 3, a sticker and a pinup. Um, that's $25 US, and the book is still in demand. I'm not sure for how much longer, but it's currently up to $12,274 US. It'd be great if this could get up to 15 at least.
Oh, hell
But
yeah.
just getting into it. Howdy, folks. I'm Cody Hernandez, writer and creator of Jack Irons, the Steel Cowboy, and the editor for Ironverse Comics, which we have now information that is going to be 5 titles in the same universe. So that's exciting to find out about.
Nice.
And editor for Ironverse Comics, delivering the best in Weird Space West. So, with a solid track record of delivering gorgeous works unlike anything else out there, with backing great indie comic publisher Wicked Publishing, we're set and on track to continue making something truly spectacular for years to come. We just need one more all important ingredient: you, kind reader. Oh, we also have a metal trading card sized print at 12,500. So that's going to be nice to get. I love me some trading cards. Just dropping a metal one down. Boom. Um. Anyway,
That's a nice spin.
you've got couple of previews here for the small trading card. There are the iron horses or the steel horses that were alluded to that we were talking about earlier. Those
I
things are
want
amazing.
I want those for my motorcycle.
You need those for your damn car. But here we have the Four Horsemen, as alluded to, and again, I like the difference of the Four Horsemen. Like a lot of time, they're
Oh yeah,
stylistically the same, and they're hooded figures or whatever. But here we have one that is clearly war, one that is
which
clearly
is
death,
War's probably my favorite design.
one that's clearly plague, and one that's clearly famine. Here you have the robot bar fight.
Which is fantastic.
We do need those for our damn cars. That is correct. But no, we have the robot bar fight, and it's amazing. And one of the coolest things was Jack thanks the robot for allowing him to finish his drink before assaulting him, and then has a shootout with him. And
I mean, that's just proper manners.
right. But what was it? Some 14,000 crimes committed, 14,480 or something.
Yeah, something like that.
It was a ridiculous number of crimes, and 45 assumed. But you got a spread here of Jack with the Four Horsemen on either side of him. The story: a reincarnated immortal wanders through the galactic Armageddon seeking purpose and freedom. Jack Irons, the Steel Cowboy, tells the story of a man trapped in two kinds of eternity. His mind and soul bears the memories of hundreds, maybe thousands of past lives, and his current body is unkillable and immortal. So I didn't pick up on that yet. Like I understood that he was, but I didn't know that his current body was immortal. Ironverse comics
just a stylistic thing, so we could follow that it was the same character throughout all the timelines.
Ironverse comics take this poor unfortunate soul and lets him loose in the galactic-wide weird Western apocalypse. Our universe is fractured into a four horsemen, sick whims, a cracked mirror of sentiment life, deepest lust and fears made manifest in excess. That's a mouthful to say 5 times fast. Earth is a reservation kept safe by a corrupt alien government trying to maintain its fascist control over what free galaxy is left by any means necessary. Humanity lives, cowers, and makes do alongside alien refugees and pilgrims behind the impenetrable walls of the new Deadwood. When reality belongs to evil, heroes are inevitable. Welcome to Ironverse Comics. Enjoy the ride. Well, so far I sure as hell have. Got a couple of reviews here. Mr. Fernandez has used a shotgun when he could have used a sniper rifle, but has nonetheless hit his target. Jack Iron, Steel Cowboy #1 is frothy, fresh start to what we hope is a long-lived series. I definitely mirror that sentiment, sir. The comic is a splash of Judge Dredd, a shot of Umbrella Academy's zaniness, a big pour of Grimjack's Mood Bar. Jack Iron to Steel Cowboy #2 is chaotic, anti-erudite, and enormous fun. And then you've got the tracker pinup. Mysterious figure from Jack's past has returned to challenge him. What does their centuries-long violent series of yesterday mean for Jack's future? Why has Earth's legendary top predator returned for Jack after a century of silence? Only one way to find out. Back Jack. And there you have. Oh, there he is. Okay. Oh, he literally is a Steel Cowboy. Oh, that's he's been tracking Jack's crimes for a few decades. Manga is a large influence. I'm hearing that a lot more, and symbolism doesn't need subtlety to communicate such a powerful concept like these evils. Yeah. Um, but exclusive variant covers for 1 and 2 only for this campaign. Uh, so not the covers above, though they too will be available through Wicked Publishing without the fuss of months of the campaign. Ooh, so I can get the
Oh,
originals and my variants. Okay. The Ironverse team will be producing variant covers for 1 and 2 just for this campaign, never to be reprinted or reoffered anywhere else. One variant
on that,
on
folks.
hardcover. Example of Frank Martin Jr.'s color work with Maxie's line. Page count. 32-page story content for issue 3 is added to 24 pages from issue 1 and 32 with issue 2. 88 pages of story with an additional 40 pages of bonus content, including pinups, concept art, fan art galleries between all 3 books. The 128 pages of the best and weird Space West, if and you're snagging all 3. I know our budget, which I will outline below. I know how these things get made. Most importantly, I've learned so damn much from our first campaign. December is a foreseeable worst case. I went far out to avoid underestimating delivery time. I should be able to deliver before then, unless fate undeniably and unavoidably decides otherwise. Which, I mean,
I mean, we are in the middle of the
did
apocalypse right
did
now,
anybody
so
have Eastern? Did anybody have Eastern equine encephalitis on their bingo cards for June?
that's a big word.
Well, that's the disease that mosquitoes in the Northeast are carrying now.
Oh,
The
lovely.
sleeping sickness. It'll kill you.
Oh, right. Fantastic.
Yeah, it comes from horses and is carried by mosquitoes.
Wasn't there a scare about that like last year?
I don't know, but it feels like we just skipped straight over murder hornets, and that upsets me.
I know.
Anyway, I don't discuss artist rates without permission, but suffice it to say, this total includes a great bump up from what they received in prior issues. Most indie standard, and still, in my opinion, is not enough for their amazing talent. Kind of got to pay for other things too, like printing, shipping, and extra goodies, all covered in a total above at least at the time of launch. Ironverse not legally liable for apocalyptic real world events. Neither is the Gospel of Comics. I just want to put that out there. We have nothing to do with Revelation actually taking place in 2020.
Yes, but we are so hoping it does.
Anyway, stretch goals. We've already met the 12,500 stretch goal. Physical backers get an exclusive metal trading card. Physical secret perk backers get 2 different ones. I get a payday.
Ooh.
At 14,500, they include a bonus 8-page mini preview of Tracker Top Predator by myself and Vincent Rush in issue 3. And
Ooh.
further goals will be announced as we surpass them. Suffice it to say, we have a lot to offer with the more we have to work with. So we're about $2,000 away from that stretch goal, and I think it needs to happen.
Oh, it most definitely needs to happen.
So erases murder mosquito arc. yeah. Go ahead and start replotting out issue 4. But there's some concept art.
Should be disease releases a bunch of like giant monster mosquitoes. You might as well. 2020 is giving you a playbook of how to go forward with the series. You might as well take it.
You're roboting again, but we.
God damn it.
But we did make it through the campaign. I definitely want to encourage everybody to go check out Jack Irons. Anybody watching this in the future, anybody catching this tomorrow night, Jack finds peace and happiness forever. Arc push forward. But definitely check the link in the description below and go check out Jack Irons. You can get digital copies of the books. You can get physical copies of the books. You can get a lot of different backer tiers, and you can help push the goal up to the first stretch goal of 12,500 and get that metal trading card. Or if you really want to go to a big spender, you need to get all your friends in on it so that they can get them all the way up to the 14,000 backer goal. And
Fuck yeah.
but anyway, with that said, I'm definitely looking forward to issue 3, and we'll probably try this again on Discord tomorrow night and do an actual kind of blow by blow of issue 1 and 2 with all the goody spoilers and whatnot. Obviously, we're not going to go through the entire book, but we will do a play by play of how things went down and discuss further some of our favorite parts of the 2 books.
Almost definitely.
So with that, I definitely want to thank Ironverse for keeping us company in the comment section. Nobody else showed up. But like I said, our schedule's been spotty, and we had some tech issues, so we're working on it. We're getting it there. But anyway, Ayrton, as always, thank you, sir, for coming in. And again, anybody checking this out should check us out tomorrow, Sunday night, for a longer, in-depth, old-school
Proper
OBS
review.
proper review, and plenty of spoilers galore. So that if you don't want this book now, you will do. But
you so will.
But anyway, with that, you think you can get us out of here, big dog?
Good night, everybody.
All right. Good night, ladies and gentlemen.